welcome back to Heiser Media's tournament coverage of the Birdie Open at Iron Hill presented by Innova and Gatekeeper Media. We have our back nine here presented by Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, Reaper Disc Supply for sponsoring all of this coverage. I'm Emily Dale, World's Strongest Disc Golfer, and joined by the one and only Nathan Johnson.
Thanks for having me, Emily. Super excited to see how this thing finishes out. We start on the par 5, 10th, 615 feet. You're going to see most players throw either a chip, a backhand hyzer, or a turnover forehand off the tee, and then it is dead straight about 400 to 500 feet, depending on where your drive lands, to try to get up and down for that birdie.
Yeah, it feels weird just trying to chip something off the tee with a putter or something slower speed just to get around the corner into a good landing zone when you're looking at a hole that's 615 feet long.
Yeah, I like this hole. It's kind of at least for MPO, we played as a par 4. It's almost like a backwards hole, right? Like most par 4s, you're looking to bite off a bunch of distance off the tee, and then you kind of throw a shorter shot on your second. But this is the opposite, right? You're throwing a shorter shot off the tee, and then your second shot is where you try to bite off the distance. So kind of a nice change for this course.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great analogy, and it's really a challenging thing mentally, right? Because you're looking at it and you think you need to bite off a ton of distance, but it's really about placement and getting yourself in good position to pipe something for your second and third shots. And that's right where you want to land there for Keerti.
Yeah, nicely done for her. Michelle, this is pushing backside of the fairway, but that is a nice little tree kick to keep her from going too far into those woods.
And where Eden is where you really don't want to be for your second shot, right? So we just talked about wanting to get some distance for your second and third shots, and having a standstill off to that left-hand side is really not ideal for your second shot.
Yeah, this is definitely another one of those just forward progress holes. Want to make sure you're just throwing clean shots like Keerti did right there, and just making your way up the fairway to avoid the big number. Well, Michelle, a little sneaky there.
Yep, that shot shape she's so comfortable with her legendary pumpkin disc. Finding its way down the fairway.
Over here, a little pinched off on the left-hand side. Swings it a little too wide, but gets through. That'll work.
Eden still has a lot of work to do to get up to the basket. The basket, it's hard to tell from this shot, but she needs to get to that landing zone. You can see it in the background there. She should still be able to save par from that shot if she can flex the zone up there to the basket, to the green.
Tough tree kick there for Keerti. Gonna be on the right-hand side. This is still probably pushing 300, maybe more for Eden to get up and down here. Nice shot, though, to give herself a putt, save the par.
It's definitely interesting to see these holes played from a forehand dominant player perspective with Eden, and then backhand dominant players like Keerti and Debbie and Michelle.
Yeah, it definitely makes the scrambling part kind of tricky, right? If you're a backhand only or backhand dominant player, you got a lot more tricky footing, a lot more, kind of just weird stances that you got to make work. I mean, if you're play the hole like Michelle did, just put yourself in the middle of the fairway every time. It doesn't matter. But for the rest of us, it can get tough. Is Keerti's lining up a thumber?
It looks like it's a thumb with a slower speed disc, so interested to see how this one pans out. It's tough to see from the camera angle.
Yeah, it looks like we think we can see her disc right there. Not a bad shot at all. Debbie just pitching up here. Should be able to save the par. Keerti from 45 feet. Oh, just left. Doesn't get it to stick.
Great bid though.
Michelle now, she's got this 28 footer for the birdie. Just a bit low. We did mention at the end of the front nine, if you weren't watching, this has gotten into a pretty close race. I think Michelle had like 4 strokes or something like that at the beginning of the round on Eden, and maybe a couple more on Keerti, and both of them have brought it back to 1 and 2 respectively. So this is definitely anybody's game after Michelle started out the tournament strong. Both these ladies have kind of dialed or reined her back in per se.
And if you know Iron Hill, you know anything can happen. It's a spicy course where every hole has a lot of potential for both low and high numbers.
Yeah, especially the finishing stretch, 17, 18, super demanding holes. So, like you said, yeah, definitely anything can happen.
See players cleaning up here before heading into hole 11, which is plays as one of the easier hole on the courses. So players are really looking, this is one of the ones that you're looking at as a birdie or die hole. So heading into hole 11, it's a par 4, 475 feet. Off the tee, honestly, you want to play something that's a straight hyzer landing right about here. And then you have an easy pitch up to the basket, hopefully, to grab yourself that birdie. This is one of those holes where even if you're off the fairway, it's fairly easy to save par.
Yeah, there's definitely a fairway, right? A gap to hit, but there are also a lot of just smaller gaps on the sides of the fairway and not as much thick rough. So you can kind of just make something work no matter where you end up off your tee shot.
Absolutely. You see Eden go into the forehand play. I'm curious to see how this shot shapes her into the fairway. And unfortunately, she does hit something, but even where she kicked to over there, she should have a look to snag a birdie still to the basket.
This is just pured for Michelle. Yep. And the finish is left too. That's the biggest opening in towards the green too, is on the left-hand side. So not a bad kick there. Keeps Keerti moving forward. As you said, this is the easiest hole on the course. It was the only hole to average under par on the day. So definitely want to at least give yourself a look at the birdie if possible.
You can see even Michelle and Debbie, or Eden and Debbie, both had early tree kicks, and they still had looks to get up to the basket. We see Keerti here had a little bit of tree love that pushed her forward. She does not turn over the forehand enough and leaks a little bit to that right-hand side, as we see Michelle just with a standstill putter upshot to maybe throw it in.
Ooh, off the koozie. What a line. You don't see Eden go to the backhand upshot too much, but that was well executed there.
She leaks a little bit out, but she's been dangerous at that 20-25 foot range, so I'm confident that she can bang that putt. as we see Keerti pitching up there.
Yeah, like you said, 25-footer, not a problem for Debbie. Knocks it down, saves the par. Needed now for a par save of her own.
And there's pressure here, right? So this might be just like a 17-footer, but she knows Michelle's parked for birdie. She wants to keep that distance between them tight. So those are the putts that are important.
Yeah, especially coming down the stretch. Don't want to leak any strokes where you can help it. There's plenty of strokes to be lost on this course. On the fairways, you don't want to be leaking any more on the green. So Michelle taps in that birdie, bring her back into the single digits over par as we head into hole 12, par 3, 300 feet. It is a dead straight putter shot into a very treacherous rocky green. Basket's kind of on a slope. You see quite a few rollaways here. It's a technical shot. You just got to hit the gap.
And this is one of the first holes we've seen in a while that has OB. So we do have an OB road there on the right-hand side. And if you're landing with highs around that hill, I have seen some discs try to trickle out to that OB. You see Debbie hit early there, but she should still have a safe little forehand up to the green.
Yeah, Eden's line up the forehand here off the tee. It's got to be careful with the angle here because you don't want it to fade out too much. Find that road, like you said, on the right-hand side. Just pulls that one a little bit to the left, catches a tree. It's one of those holes, if you have a circle 2 putt, you might want to think twice about running it.
Yeah.
And Keerti's been piping this shot all weekend, and it looks like once again she nails it.
Yeah.
She did hit a great shot, but that's going to be a scary putt.
I'm sure she'll give it a bid for us, try to put on a show. Nice shot from Debbie there. Lee gives her an outside look at the par. Eden catches tree herself. It's going to be a very long look, probably in the 80-foot range. I'd be surprised if we saw a run here.
It's Eden, so of course we see a run. Just safe.
Yeah, a bit of a safe bid, maybe. Giving it a chance. Another stressful putt here from Debbie. Yeah, doesn't want any part of it. That's if you hit a rock in the wrong, on the wrong angle on this hole, like your disc is gone, like straight into the road. Like I've seen it so many times.
Oh, that was a great run. Baby.
Hear that laugh as she knows she was giving it that run. And here's what Michelle's left with.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't love it, but stays safe.
Yeah, probably a good tree that she caught. Although just still that downhill just pulled that disc a little too far away from the basket, so isn't able to connect on the comebacker and is going to have to settle for the bogey. Happens quick.
Absolutely. The rest of our players cleaning up for some bogeys here. A par for Keerti. You're happy with par on this hole. It seems straightforward at a par 3 at 300 feet, which is shorter for this course, but it's definitely a challenging hole. So as we head into hole 13, shout out to Elevation for sponsoring this hole. Par 3, 360. This is a ace run hole all day long. You ideally want to hit something straight that has a hyzer finish into the green or in the basket. But we have that road once again on that left there on the right hand side that we don't want to kick into or turn over a shot into.
Yeah, speaking of ace runs, even though we are watching FPO, I did watch Dylan Horst get the one on this hole.
Still a good shot.
It was insane, absolutely insane. Nice shot there from I think that was that Keerti or is that Debbie? Either way, those last couple trees are the ones you got to miss, right?
Keep sitting down.
There's a couple. There's like these two trees that have one has a white paint on it and the other one has black paint on it. And if you can split them, that's like the ideal shot. But way easier said than done.
And this is looking good.
Wow,
If
that's
it
so
can
good.
sneak through those trees, just like you said, that should get her to a good look there as we see Debbie lining up for her shot. A little bit low, but it looks like it should sneak through if it doesn't hit that. Weird reaction, but it looks like it skipped all the way up into the circle.
Yeah, kind of a weird counter skip, but worked out. Yeah, like you heard Michelle say, low. It's not a bad thing on this hole. Significantly downhill. Here's where Keerti ended up.
Nice.
Shell from deep. Doesn't quite have the height.
You get the disappointment as it rolls away a little bit, but still stays within bullseye for her. And this is where Eden landed, so it looks like she got caught up by that tree that she did come in a little bit early, but still has a look probably 10 feet outside of the circle. And this is where Debbie landed after a crazy counter skip. Ah.
Bit low, catches the rim. Good cleanup there from Michelle. This was the fourth hardest hole on the course this round. Bit surprising, but at the same time, it's very punishing if you don't hit that initial gap off the tee. Can find yourself in instant bogey land on the left or right hand side.
Yeah, anything that doesn't hit the gap, you're in instant scramble mode, and that's not what you want to be doing on this hole for sure. Some good cleanups here from the card as we all are tapping in some pars on hole number 13.
Not a bad score at all. Coming down the stretch here. Continue on hole 14. Is a par 3, 300 feet. Pretty much just dead straight. You can see the basket right there. A couple guardian trees on the right hand side at the end. So I think that kind of just baby flex forehand might shape the fairway a little better, but either way, whatever you're comfortable throwing straight for this distance is just fine. Something like that.
Yep, that's the shot. That's what you want.
Debbie's going to try to match. Looks pretty good out of the hand. It's going to need a little bit of luck to sneak through those late trees, but looks like she gets it.
And here's that forehand flex play that you mentioned earlier. I agree. I think that's a good shot shape here.
Good angle out of the hand, maybe just a bit overturned as Eden catches a tree late. Ooh, Michelle gets a little sneaky there on the right-hand side.
Just dodging those trees. Oof. Fortunately, she does hit that tree. She should still have a look at a putt just outside circle, perhaps.
So here's where Eden ended up. Like you said, just outside the circle, but it's not a problem. Left side sneaks it in to save the par. That's a great putt. Keep the momentum going in her favor. Here's Keerti from about the same distance. Just fades out a little left.
Let me see. Michelle looking at Birdie here. Really spice things up, give her a little bit more of a buffer. Nails the putt.
Yeah, nicely done. Dead center. Pushes the lead to 2 strokes. Here's Debbie now for the birdie as well. Just off. Surprisingly, this hole did play as the second easiest on the day, right at a 3 average. So a lot of pars from the field. Not too much trouble. The gap is pretty forgiving off the tee, but still a very demanding shot shape if you do want to get that birdie.
All right, headed into hole 15 with a par 3, 250 feet. The FPO tee pad is off to the left-hand side of this shooting from the MPO tee pad. For FPO, you're basically just looking straight up a gap, hyzer flip through that narrow set of trees right there to get you up to the basket.
Yeah, really tight line as Michelle just a bit off, kicks off to the left-hand side over towards that silver basket. You can see it's going to be a tough scramble from over there.
There we go. Nice.
You can see a lot of players are going to do what you see Keerti doing here, right? So something understable, you hyzer flip and just let it fight with the gravity and try to get through.
Oh yeah.
Debbie pulls it a little bit to the right-hand side, but gets sneaky and gets some great distance up that fairway. Sounds like she's surprised.
That'll work. Whatever gets you a putt.
Sometimes you just gotta shake your head and say thank you to the course.
Oh, yeah. Get through?
Might have gotten a little kick there from Eden that kind of kept that disc on Anheuser.
I really do like the forehand play. You're looking at the gap. It's such a narrow gap. You don't want to take your eyes off of it. It helps keep your focus. Another tough Anheuser run from Keerti. She does leak off, but should still have a par save.
Yeah, she's had a bunch of those putts with like a tree just to the right. Just kind of has to work it around. Eden with a birdie look. Comes up a bit short.
Oh no.
Just a bit low, back-to-back holes for Debbie. Putt was looking very solid earlier in the round, but just kind of leaking a few here down the stretch. Nice cleanup there for Michelle.
Yeah, her putt's looking good there. See Keerti focusing on her par putt, nailing it. Those are the ones that I swear are the most nerve-wracking. When you have that 15-footer that you're just like, all right, just tap this in.
Just tap it in. Just tap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the cameras come out, they all feel a little bit longer.
Oh, absolutely.
As we head into hole 16, it's a par 4, 500 feet. Most players are going to be throwing backhand off the tee, I would think, down this right-hand side, looking to keep something fairly straight keep it in the middle of the fairway, and then you just kind of make it work into this green with the slightly elevated basket on the little rock pile.
We had some great spotters on this hole helping find our discs. Ideally, like you said, the backhand shot's a great play to land in the middle. There's a amount of dirt, I think, from an overturned tree that you're kind of wanting to get to for your first shot to give you a good look back into the green. See 2 good shots there from our card.
Oh yeah.
That looks like a great pool there from Debbie if that can get back left a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Eden, there is a left gap. You don't see people take it too often, but she's just going for that right gap with the flex line. A little low. Stays in the fairway, though. She's still got a chance to get up and down here. Just going to be a bit longer look.
Yeah, and this hole did have a slight grade to it. So from right to left, it was slanting a little bit downhill. So it was interesting to see how kind of where Eden's disc was just pulling it. It pulls the discs down a little bit more than you might expect on your shots.
Yeah.
Good drive from Michelle there, flexing through those trees up to the green in the way she knows best.
Yeah, really nice second shot there. Just one tree in the middle there. Keerti needed to miss, catches it. It's going to kick her off to the right-hand side. Debbie, after a really great shot off the tee. Little low, but she'll have a circle 2 look for her birdie coming up.
Yeah, that rock kept her from bouncing up to the basket, unfortunately, but she'll still have a look.
Nice approach there from Eden. Should be able to save the par. Great shot from Keerti as well. So here's Michelle now. Circles edge for the birdie. Doesn't quite. Yeah, not quite enough height. Debbie as well. She's looking about that same distance. Oh, and that's 3 in a row now, just off that low left-hand side. Just a few inches away. It's just those 30-footers. The moneymaker putts. Oh, and that one just right side. Man, so many 50-50 putts. Just feels like none of them are going her way right now.
Yeah, she's really been online. It's just not sticking in the basket.
Just a little off. Maybe a couple of pars for the other 3 women. 2-stroke game, it looks like, barring something crazy, with 2 holes to go. And like we alluded to earlier, these final 2 holes are absolute beasts.
Yeah, these are some absolutely stunning finishing holes. Again, this is an amazing course. If you haven't gotten out to play, you definitely should. All right, hole 17, sponsored by the one and only Upper Park Disc Golf. Par 5, 680 feet. Plays uphill. You don't really feel it as you're going, but this is a long hole. And we finally get to the end here on this elevated green. And you don't want to go super long here because you'll leak off, but stunning hole. Absolutely beautiful.
He shot super important on this one to keep something in the middle, and Michelle has done just that. That is a great shot to put her in position.
She stayed in the middle of the fairway, so if you're gonna hit a tree, that's what you want.
Yep. Again, like I've been saying all day, the common theme on the par 5s is forward progress. You got to hit that initial gap. And then after that, you can kind of make stuff work. But yeah, being in the fairway, hitting the gap is important. That was a really great shot from Eden. And Debbie just peers it.
Nice. Good shot.
So Keerti kind of leaked or caught a tree on the left-hand side here. She's got kind of a hyzer, left to right moving, or right to left moving shot, I should say. Catches some cabbage there, but fades back in.
Yes. Oh, wow.
This is smoked.
Great shot, Eden. Jakey, come out. Get him out.
There's Debbie.
You hear the cheers as once it kind of disappears into the distance, you never know what direction you're gonna kick at the end of the flight, but getting through clean is definitely ideal here as we see Michelle with her signature shot shape, just S line up the fairway there.
Nicely done. Here's Keerti now on that right-hand side. Oh, and she's, wow. There's no trees on this hole, apparently. What the heck? Yeah, it's going to be on the hill, probably somewhere close to circle's edge for Eden.
See Debbie pushing her way up. She should be at the base of the hill looking up. This is one where for this upshot, you need to give it the height to get on top of that mound there where the basket is located.
Yeah, height and getting the right stability on your disc are definitely important. As a nice little kiss there for Keerti. That'll put her up on the green. These putts play so long from the bottom of the mound.
Oh, yeah.
Or, yeah, especially where Michelle is, like with tough footing. It may just be circle's edge, but it's playing like 50.
Oh, absolutely. If you can even see the basket, I think she was probably blocked by that tree.
This is a birdie putt for Eden here to bring it to 1. She connects.
Wow.
A birdie on the 17th for Eden Fornoff brings her to 11 over par.
The drama continues. Tight race heading into hole 18, which is no gimme. It's a challenging shot, no matter if you're forehand, backhand, overhand. It's a tough hole.
Yeah,
Card is still all smiles as they're cleaning up some pars as we head into hole 18.
Yeah, here we are, hole 18, par 5, 580. An absolute beast of a hole. Your tee shot is kind of just looking to push something straight, finish a little bit to the left, and then your upshot is just find a way to get up towards the basket and make it work. Or excuse me, this is a par 4.
So this one is an interesting forehand play. She should actually be good where she is. For the backhand, you really want something straight. It feels like you want to push around the corner, but a lot of times shots that push forward and have a left finish, unless you're Michelle, leak into a batch of trees. But where Michelle landed is ideal.
Yeah, that was a killer shot from Michelle, especially with the pressure on. Just pure as it. This looks great from Keerti as well. Oh, just catches a late one.
Pretty. Beautiful.
What a shot from Debbie as well. Just perfect.
Yes. Nice shot. Beautiful shot.
Nicely done there from Eden, just to try to bite off some distance, try to at least put herself in position to get a par, and at least put a little bit of pressure on Michelle.
Like you said, just a stunning finishing hole. As we see Michelle hit. You see the basket's up by those feather flags that you see at the end down there to close out the final hole. We see Debbie, unfortunately, hit early and kick off to the right-hand side.
Yeah, big shot here for Michelle. She's got to put it close at least to give herself a look for the par. And that sneaks all the way through. Definitely going to be within putting range. Sure, Eden's wondering just how close Michelle is. Because she might need to give this thing a run if she wants to push this into a playoff. Definitely needs to at least put herself inside the circle and secure the par if she wants a chance. Looks like she's going with the backhand.
She doesn't like it out of her hand. Gets a nasty roll, too, back into the rough there.
Yeah, puts her on the right-hand side here now, just trying to get up and down for a bogey, and that is off as well.
Oh,
and this is where you just want to make it end, right? Where
yeah,
you know how things are going, a lot of emotions. And Keerti, as she has
still
been
running.
giving us some good runs. Never disappointing.
Yep, deep run for Debbie as well. So here's Michelle now. This is where her shot ended up. This is for par. From just about circle's edge. Bit high, unable to connect, but cleans it up anyway for the bogey. That will put her to 11 over par, and she will be your 2023 Birdie Open champion.
Back to back for Michelle. I know she loves this course. I know it has a lot of meaning to her. She's been here at this event and the ones before it for many, many years. So it definitely is important to her to snag this win. And we've seen some great play from all of our lead card ladies with our coverage debut for Keerti and Debbie, and some awesome coverage here from all of our card.
Yeah, as we take a look, Michelle with Vince, the tournament director, thanks to him, thanks to all the staff and volunteers that made this event possible. As we take a look at the final leaderboard, Michelle Frazer takes it down, back-to-back, like you said, Birdie Open champion.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Emily Dale, joined in the booth, of course, by Nathan Johnson. Thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our Patreons, and make sure you do all those YouTube things. Like, subscribe, and check us out for more.